Hey everyone, welcome to the Acrobatic Arts Podcast. I'm Loren, and I will be interviewing some of the top leaders and innovators from the dance and acrobatic industry. If you are a teacher, performer, student, or a lifelong learner like myself, you are sure to find these episodes intriguing and full of inspiration. Acrobatic Arts is passionate about providing current and relevant information for everyone. So please, sit back and enjoy as we share our passion with you and the world. Today, we're thrilled to welcome a very special guest, Mandy Yip, the founder of Acrobatic Arts. Mandy has built one of the most trusted training programs in the world, raising the standard for safe, progressive acro instruction and empowering teachers and dancers alike. Let's dive into a conversation about growth, leadership, and what lifelong learning really looks like in the dance world. Welcome back to the podcast, Mandy.
Thank you so much for having me. This is one of my favorite parts of the year, is hanging out with you on the Acrobatic Arts podcast.
Mandy, it's such a pleasure having you on the podcast, especially right before the summer convention season kicks off. Last year, you shared your excitement about the incredible opportunities coming up and the importance of professional development for teachers. As we revisit this conversation, what shifts or deeper insights have emerged for you about why these conventions and expos are so critical for dance educators right now?
Great question, Loren. And yes, this is a really exciting, busy, but exciting time of the year. During the summer, I probably will get 3 nights in my own bed, and the rest of the 2 months will be on the road, which is a ton of fun because I get to see all of my friends and make connections and network with people in the industry, but it's also a little bit exhausting. So I certainly feel that as we head into the season. I think when it comes to professional development, there are so many important things that we need to consider. You know, we're teaching dance, and the reality is that in our industry, there is no requirement for us to have education at all of any kind, really. There is no board, there are no standards that are set. And so really anyone can open up a dance studio and start teaching dance without having any kind of credentials or letters or education behind their name. And I think as we start to see the industry legitimize itself, we're noticing that parents aren't okay with that anymore. They want to see that their dance teachers are educated, that they do understand the material that is being taught to their children. It has just been a real shift in what those expectations are. Luckily for dance teachers out there, there are these wonderful learning opportunities that are not only going to help them with refreshing their material and making sure that they're on the cutting edge of what we should be teaching as educators, they're also a ton of fun. And a great reason to, take a little bit of a break from your regular life and enjoy time with other people who are just like you, who are teaching dance and educating young people in what we're doing and want to be better as educators.
And you have a great perspective, both as the founder of Acrobatic Arts and previously as a studio owner. How has embracing a growth mindset shaped not only your path, but also the evolution of acrobatic arts as the global leader in AcroDance teacher education?
Right. So yeah, I owned a dance studio, and even when that was my path, becoming more educated in what I was doing has always been the top of my list. I'm a lifelong learner, and I cannot wait to learn the newest thing, the next thing, the old thing, the thing that everybody's doing, the thing that nobody's doing. I love to learn. And so I've immersed myself in that from the very beginning. And I think one of the things that's made acrobatic art so special is that that same growth mindset has been paramount to how we're going to show up to the industry right from the beginning. And it continues to be that. So we are constantly educating ourselves on what the latest and newest and oldest and all of the things that we can find are, so that we can bring that out to the educators that are out in the field doing the work with students. And I think that that's made us special. We're not sitting around, using what we did last year. We're constantly upgrading, improving, analyzing, testing, and making sure that what we're offering to the industry is the top of the line, the absolute gold standard. So I think the growth mindset has really been something that has permeated my entire life, right from being a child all the way through my studio ownership. It's through what I did with acrobatic arts, and it actually continues to this day as I continue my work in the industry through ensemble and performing arts.
So many dance teachers feel stretched thin during the season with competitions, recitals, and their own life. What advice would you give to those who are hesitant or unsure about investing in their own professional development in the downtime over summer?
Right. Yeah. So I kind of alluded to this at the very beginning of the call, but I will say it again. Not only do these summer events give you a ton of fresh information and make you feel a little bit more rejuvenated and going back into the classroom, but they are a ton of fun. All of the events that we attend have some element of networking and some kind of a party. And, it's just when you get a group of dance teachers together and you put on some really great music and you have a little bit of snacks and there might be a few drinks in there too. It really is just so much fun to hang out with other like-minded people and talk about the industry and find other community with people who do what you do. And I think dance teaching can be a bit of a lonely gig, and studio ownership can be even lonelier. But getting into a room with other people who are doing exactly what you're doing can really rejuvenate your spirits and makes you feel ready for the upcoming seasons.
Would you happen to have any practical strategies that you would recommend for teachers to help them bring back the inspiration and knowledge and give it to their studios and students?
Yeah, so I mean, find yourself an event that's going to work for you. There are, I think we're doing 6 or 7 of them this season. We can rattle them off at the end of this session, Loren, if you'd like. But find one that's going to work for you, proximity to where you live, or maybe it's the city that you want to go to. Maybe you'd really love to go to New York City, or maybe you'd really love to go to Las Vegas, or one of the other great cities that these conferences are in. Experience a little bit of that town as well if you can. But my biggest advice while you're at the event is go to some classes that you wouldn't normally go to. If you're the contemporary teacher at your studio and you generally work with those high competitive kids, go and take a preschool class from Miss Julie Kay, or take a few minutes to go and watch a ballet class from somebody who's teaching beginner teens. I think that when you go and experience those kinds of classes that you don't normally participate in, you can take out a whole bunch of learning and apply it to the kinds of classes that you're teaching. Maybe it's not the skills or the steps or the combinations themselves, but the way that things are taught from different teachers can really change the way that you deliver your material to your students. And I think that can make it a little bit more fun for you and freshen up your approach. And it also makes it more fun for your students.
What would you say the teachers can expect when they visit the acrobatic arts booth or even attend your sessions at these events?
Well, the acrobatic arts booth is always a party, so we'll start there. There will be some kind of candies and treats. There always is. But I think what's really fun about our booth is that the people who are running it, Carol and Shelby and Marie and Mary, they have so much fun with the teachers, and you are likely to get asked to do some kind of a acro move or something to enter our draw, and that's always a lot of fun. Some people it's just standing on one foot, so please don't be intimidated by that idea, although we do have some dance teachers that really go for it and run off that aerial that they haven't done in a decade, which is kind of fun. For my classes, there's a whole bunch of different classes that I'm teaching, so it really depends which event you're at. And I think I did a good job of writing down what the description of each of those classes are. So my advice to that would just be to look over what the class is going to be about and choose the classes that are going to make the most sense for you. Again, keeping your mind open that maybe it's not directly adjacent to what you teach. Maybe it's just a little bit past that, but that's always a great way to learn something new. And I always have demonstrators in the class with me. So we do have some teachers that get up and try the acro, but if you are the kind of person who would rather just take a pen and paper and write down what we're teaching, that's totally fine too. And I like to spend time in every class that I'm teaching on the convention circuit in progression. So, not just starting with the end trick in mind, but rather to go back to the beginning and show you all of the steps practically that get you from point A all the way to point B. And some tips and tricks to use in your classroom to keep your classroom fresh, exciting, and fun for your students.
Now, Acrobatic Arts as a company has seen tremendous growth. How have conventions played a role in not just the company's expansion, but also in building a vibrant, forward-thinking community of dance educators?
This is a great question. I think 10 years ago, when I first got onto the national scene, the idea that pros should have technical requirements and that there should be progression and that we should change a bit of the culture surrounding acrobatics was total foreign concept. So I remember saying at one of my first events, which was at the Dance Teacher Web, the first event that I ever did on a national stage, that it seems obvious to all of the dance teachers in the room that if we show up and we do a double pirouette, but we hop, 3 times halfway through it and we aren't up on releve and we don't have the other foot in some kind of position that makes sense. And, we would not consider that to be a double pirouette. The audience knows it, the teachers know it, the students know that that is not truly a double pirouette and that it shouldn't get any credit. But for whatever reason, that kid runs across the stage, chucks an aerial, and lands on their feet without putting their hands on the floor somehow, even if it's, a complete disaster, the crowd, would get up and cheer. And I think over the last decade, we've been pretty successful in shifting the culture to not accept that as a technique that we're going to admire and celebrate. And rather, if it's not done properly, that it's just not going to be rewarded. And that shift, I think, is one of the things I'm very proud of in the time that I've spent on national stages talking to people, because it's not an easy shift to make. I mean, to convince an entire industry that that's not what we want and that we want something different is no small feat. But I think that through conversations, through classes, through all of the teachers that we've trained at Acrobatic Arts, we have really made a massive shift. And I see it when I go to competition and when I hear chatter online and when I look at the Dance Teacher Network, that we're not accepting that as something that we're going to cheer and celebrate. Rather, we're going to ask those students to perfect that skill. My ultimate goal in that from the very beginning was to reduce injury. And I think while we're not celebrating and rewarding that, it lends itself to teachers not putting it into routines anymore. And I think the ultimate goal is being achieved because those things are no longer being seen on the stage as often.
Mandy, as we wrap up, I would love for you to share your thoughts on this. With so many new opportunities out there for dancers, like the Prodigy Dance Convention, Accelerate Acro Convention, and all of the amazingly diverse programs becoming available for dancers, how important is it for teachers to lead by example and show their students what lifelong learning really looks like?
I think it's paramount. I mean, I think it's one of the most important things that you can do for your students is to show them that not only is it important for them to keep learning, but that you are investing in your own education as well, that it matters to you, that you're going to spend time and resources on becoming better at your craft, just like you're expecting your dancers to. And our dancers are constantly looking at us. They are following our every steps. They idolize their dance teacher in a lot of cases. And you'll see them change the way that they wear their hair or change the way that they dress to more emulate the teacher that they so look up to. We should be trying to provide examples that are going to benefit our students in all of the ways. And I think professional education should be at the top of that list. We should be educating ourselves so that we can show our dancers that that's a really important part of being a great human. And I mean, that goes across every industry, not just dance. But this is a great way for us to instill those values in your students young and early.
It's easy to see that professional development is important on so many levels, and I think we're all getting a little bit excited about conventions and maybe looking them up to see if we can attend them. Are you getting excited?
I am so excited. I'll tell you the ones that you're going to be able to see Acrobatic Arts at, and hopefully you'll come and say hi to us at the booth and come to some of the classes that we're offering. We're really excited to see all of dance teachers out on the road and reconnect with old friends and meet new ones. This summer we'll be at Regold's Dance Life Teacher Conference from July 22 to 24. In Connecticut, we'll be at the Dance Teacher Web Conference and Expo from July 21 to 25 in Las Vegas. We'll be in Toronto at the Toronto Dance Teacher Expo from August 6th to 7th. We will be in New York at the Dance Teacher Summit from August 8th to 11. That's an event that's coming back. We haven't had that event in, I think, 4 or 5 years. So we're really excited that Dance Teacher Summit's going back to New York this year. We'll be in Chicago for Energize from August 15th to 17th. And then a brand new event that's happening this season, the Dance Educators Collective, is happening in Nashville from August 28th to 31st. And you know what I love about this, Loren, is that there's just so many great opportunities to see, some of the most iconic cities in the United States, meet up with other people who care about the same kinds of things that you care about, refresh and re-energize your teaching practices and styles. And, really have that time to dive into what you're doing and become a better teacher.
Mandy, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. We loved having you back, and we can't wait to see you in person at the upcoming conventions.
I can't wait either. Looking forward to it.
A huge thank you to Mandy Yip for joining us today. Her insight is always a reminder of why we do what we do. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow dance educator. Remember, just like a great convention, life's better when you're open to every class, every combo, and every chance to grow. Thanks for listening, everyone, and have a great day.